Welcome back, everybody. This is Professor Wes, GMC, and in this video we're going to start covering PowerPoint. Microsoft PowerPoint is a program that lets you design your own presentations. So I often like to compare this to the old slideshows that you used to see sometimes on TV or whatever, where somebody's click a button and the next slide would appear. Well, PowerPoint is like a fully interactive version of that. It's extremely powerful, and it's really good for any time you need to present something to a group of people or to people that's not with you at that time. You can make slideshows, which is one slide after another, like on a slideshow projector, like I was just talking about. You can make presentations for work. You can make multimedia projects, just about anything. It's extremely powerful. It's a great program to use. So I'm on the start screen. When you open it the first time, you should see something like this. Now, ordinarily, if you've opened projects in the past, they'll all be listed here in the recent, so you could click on one of those if that's the one you want. So if you were working on one yesterday, you would just look down here and click on it, and it would open it back up. And otherwise, you can go ahead and click Blank Presentation and start a whole new presentation. This lets you start one from scratch. I'm actually going to click the back button because I have one open that's generic right now. And I'm going to use this to explain to you all the parts of the PowerPoint tools, everything, all this stuff. So had you clicked blank presentation, you would have one slide on the screen. And let me show you what it would look like. It would look like this, where it says click to add title, click to add subtitle. And you would use all of these tools up here to do all of that. I'm not really going to get into all that right this minute. So let me just talk a little bit about the tools in this video. If you've already gone through the other segments in this class where you learned Word, Access, and Excel, then you're already familiar with the ribbon. But let me hit it anyway. This is the ribbon across here. These are tabs. Each tab has a whole lot of commands associated with it. So if I want to go to the Insert tab, I would click on it and it would show these shapes. If I decided I wanted to go to the Draw tab, I would click on it and it would have all these commands about drawing. The Transitions tab has stuff about transitioning from one slide to another. Animations tab has stuff about making animations and so forth. So don't worry too much about all that for now. So there's just a few that we're actually going to focus on a lot. Tabs in each group, the commands in each group have their own groupings. Like, for example, this is the font group. This is the paragraph group. And they allow you to manipulate font and paragraph and drawing and whatever else. So, let's say I highlighted this section and I want to come over here to the font tab, and I have all these different commands here. I can use bold, which makes it thicker. If I press it again, it goes away. I can use italics, makes it kind of slanted. Click it again, it goes away. But you have to have these words highlighted in order for it to act on it, because it's only going to act on what's highlighted. So here's underline, text shadow, how it makes it kind of look a little thicker. As you point to it, notice this box appears that tells you what it is. And you can always undo it either by clicking it again or by going to the undo button. This one here says change the case, so if I click that, it's going to let me say change the sentence case, change the lowercase, change the uppercase, capitalize each word, or use toggle case, which is where the small word, or the first letter is small and all the rest are capitalized. When you point to them, it shows you how they'll look. See, this one, if I click this one, they'll all be lowercase. Otherwise, that's how it'd be. In addition to that, there's other commands. This one here changes behind the text. So if I click on it, you don't really see it. Well, let's try that again. If I click on it, it highlights it. This one changes the font color. Oh, you got to have it selected. In most of these boxes, you'll notice at the bottom right, there's a little arrow. If you click on it, it gives you even more commands. So there's a lot of stuff here that's not listed on the quick one. And then you go to the character spacing, and there's even more. Also, if you look up here by the top, there's this little box where it says search. If there's a command that you don't know where it is, because believe me, they can get difficult to find. Maybe you're on this one and you can't find where the font was. And you're like, oh yeah, okay, there it is. But if you don't remember it, maybe you could come here and say font bold. And it'll let you use it right there from the screen. So I can click bold, and oh, there it goes. I just bolded everything. This is pretty useful because before, it can be very difficult to find some of these tools before they added this ability. Next, up here at the top is the quick access toolbar. So you have save. If I click that, it saves my project. I have undo, I have redo, and for some reason I have start from the beginning of the presentation. Now the important thing about these is these are quick access because it doesn't matter what tab you're on. You still have access to these. So if you click on the drop down, you can add any one that you want. Like if I say, oh, I don't know why start from beginnings on there, I'm going to uncheck it. When I click on it, now it goes away. It's gone. It's not there. If you wanted something else from there, you could click on it and add. If it has a check mark, it'll show up here. If it doesn't have the check mark, it won't. Now, I have this example up here of a very simple sample program presentation, and I want to show you how to navigate through it a little bit. So over here in this left pane, you can click on the next one and it'll automatically take you there. Or you can use the arrow keys to move up and down. That can help a lot later. In the larger window here, this is where we actually create the slide. So if I said, oh, I've actually got 2 in a row with the same number, I could come here and I can manipulate it however I want. Slide 1, blah, blah, blah. Also, if you'll notice, there's rulers across the top. They start at 0, which is the center, and they work their way each direction. Same thing for up and down. 0, and then up and down. This can really help you to know where things are positioned on your slides so you can make sure they're in the same positions on the next slides. If you're not sure if you want the ruler on there, go to the View tab at the top and click on it. And you see right here where it says ruler and it's checked. If you click there, it'll uncheck it, and now my rulers are gone. If I check it again, they're all back. We have grid lines and we have guidelines, or guides, that you can choose from also. Down here at the bottom right corner are some more commands that you need to be familiar with. This little sliding command here with the plus and the minus, and notice it says 65% beside it. If I click that plus sign, it says 70%. My slide just got a little bigger. 80, 90, 100, 110, 20, 30, 40. So right now it's showing up at 140% of the size that it normally would. There's also some other commands here. This one does a slideshow. This one does a reading review. And this one's normal layout, and this one's a slide sorter. The slide sorter brings up a bunch of slides at one time so you can see them, and you could even move around. If I decided I wanted slide 2 before slide 1, I could just move it around like that, and it would put it there. Of course, that'd be silly. Why would I want slide 2 before slide 1? But sometimes when you're making a presentation, you might make some slides and then realize that, oh, I skipped over some information that needs to be there. To go back to the backstage, click File, and it brings it up. From here you have access to all of these like open and save and print and so forth. If you click on one, I'm going to click on print, it comes up with all the stuff you need. Print what? Well, print all the slides in the presentation. You have all these options that you have access to just from clicking the print. If you click Save As, it'll bring up a different box that'll help direct you to where you want to save your project. I'm going to click this arrow that goes to the left to get back out of this. And if you go back to this first one down here, it says normal. That's the normal view. It's a little bigger than normal. but we are at 140%. You get to 100% rather. So, and you can go anywhere in between. You can click anywhere on here. You can grab this and drag it, make it bigger and bigger. It's really up to you. So, that's it for the layout and all the basic tools. You can play around with it, or you can go right to the next video where we'll actually start using this. I will see you there. Bye, everybody.